everyone, welcome to Thoughts of Treasures. My name is Connie and this is my craft room. Welcome in. I want to start off by saying if you are not already following or subscribed, please do so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that I put out. I am on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and the TikTok, but you know, wherever you're watching from, please just follow along so you don't miss out on any of the videos that I put there. Tonight we are going to be working on, and we are still in Christmas in July, so we are going to be working on this little ornament. This is our little, I don't know what to call him. I have no idea. Snowman. I know he's a snowman, but I had a specific title for him, and I completely forgot what it was. But if you guys want to know, just type, if you're interested in this, just type Snowman in the comments, and I can get back to you with it. But when he's up on the website, he will have a full title. I just don't remember what I told him. I want to say winter something, but I don't think that was right either. So, you know, we're just going to go with the flow. Anyway, this is going to be a little ornament. He's cute. I know his little nose is way bigger than his face, and that's okay because it's a whimsical kind of quirky kind of little fun little snowman. If it's not your thing, you can always, you know, take this off and draw a regular nose on if you wanted to. But he does come with a large nose. He comes with our little bird. So first things first, I'm going to find me some tape. And I don't know why I always lose this tape. I have to get some more at the Dollar Tree. This is just regular Dollar Tree painter's tape. I just use this because, well, I don't know if it'll be cheap anymore, but it was cheap when I bought it. Still might be $1. No, they were probably $1.25. So I just used a piece of regular tape. Like I said, this is way cheaper than what you really, the other painter's tape. I only use that for good projects. And what I like to do, and this is me, does not mean you have to do it this way, but there's lots of little pieces and we don't want to lose any. I like to categorize them into what colors that I'm actually doing. So we're going to put our little bird on here with our little wing. And I space them out a little bit. We've got our berries. We're going to do them red also. Then we've got our holly. That's it, called a holly. We've got his little nose, which we're going to do orange. I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to give him a blue scarf. Now, when you buy a kit from me, you will see that they come with an inspirational picture. That does not mean that's what you have to do. That is just an inspirational picture. And then we have our little hat rim, and I'm going to put our little snowflake over here. This also just keeps these in so nothing falls out. Thank goodness nothing fell. Now, if you guys do not know, I do these videos recorded, but they are not edited because I do not want you to miss out on anything that I do or not do. So if it doesn't work, we're going to figure out how to make it work. Now, I have been doing, I do other crafts. However, this month we've been doing Christmas in July. So I've been doing and concentrating on the wood kits. I have been doing a lot of wood kits only because that is what I sell mainly. And we want to make sure that you guys are aware of all of the kits because I have millions of them. Alright, maybe not millions. 500,000. Exaggeration still. So I'm just going to do my back black and actually, I'm going to actually flip these over. I'm going to do a lot of these black only because they stick out over the thing. Let me make sure. Let me see my, yep, he does too. So I'm actually going to, his nose does. The holly may not, the bird I do believe does. So I'm going to do everything that I just flipped over in black also. Please don't paint that side. I have been known to make oopsies, and that's okay. We can always fix what we do wrong. This is only paint. However, when you paint black, it takes a little bit more effort to paint over that, especially when you're going to do it white. So I'm just going to paint this black. We do have to do the front of his hat also black. But I just do this to finish him off. You don't have to do it in black. You can do antique wax. You can do it in the same color as the front. You know, that's all up to you. I think it's just finished that way. You don't have to worry about it. You won't see any of the little flashback icky marks, and that's all good. So I'm going to do the same thing with these pieces only because I don't know which part's going to stick out. So I'm just going to do the whole thing to be done with. And besides, I'm going to paint a little piece of it, you know, what's another 2 strokes or 3 strokes, it's going to be covered up anyway. So, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. His nose does stick out a little bit. So, everything that you see from the back end, I just want it to be black. Same thing with his scarf. The front's going to be blue, but you're going to see part of it on the bottom. And I'll show you at the end what I mean. But, and then his hat rim, we're going to do in black. Alright, that's it. That's all this black. There's really not a whole lot to him. We're going to dress him up a little bit and make him look a little cute. But, again, with these kits, you guys do not have to be painters, artists. I mean, it's fun to try new techniques. Don't ever hesitate not to. But you can just keep them simple and just paint them flat out. Just paint. Done. But there are ways to give them a little bit of extra something to them. And I'm going to do a little bit. Not too much to him today. I have done other ones in the past. And if you want to check out any of my videos that I've done, you can go to thoughtsfortreasures.com, and on there you can see different projects, and then when you click on the project, you'll actually see the video. The videos, I do believe we've set up now to take you to YouTube, but all my videos are on Facebook too. So, you know, wherever you want to go watch them, you can. You can scroll down on my page and find them. You can go to the video section on my Facebook page. There's lots of ways to find the different things. Just, you know, Facebook, I mean, take 2. My website is probably the easiest to find, and it's more, you know, this right there. So you can just scroll the pictures, and if you see something you like, a kit that you like, you can definitely message me. My website is not set up to take orders. Long story short, just to let you guys know, no, I'm not trying to con anybody out of anything. I just like to have things set up where it's directly through me, so I don't miss out on any orders or get anything messed up. Will it change in the future? Sure, but right now it's just me and my other half, Ross, doing this. So it's kind of just keeps it simple and easy. Alright, so now that I dried all them, I'm going to flip them back over. So now we can do the front. Oh, I got to do that little piece, but I'll use that. I'll use the paint marker with that. Oh, because it'll be just a little piece. Oh, I don't need to flip that back over. Alright. This way, this also just prevents us from losing our pieces and all that stuff. I am going to paint my little birdie first. Well, I don't know. But I'm going to use Engine Red by Folk Art. I put an awful lot of black in that plate. I do find Folk Art paint is definitely a lot thicker than your average apple barrel. It all works the same, just sometimes with apple barrel you may have to do a few more coats. Maybe you want it to be more liquidy, you want to add water to your Folk Art. It just makes it a little bit more runnier. Try saying that a couple times. I'm actually going to take a little paintbrush. I know it's going to sound crazy, and I'm going to paint this. Just because I don't want to get any of that red in that black area. Now I could use a paint marker for this too, but I really like this red. This is called, what did I say called? Engine Red. Engine Red. It's a really pretty red. But I'm just trying to go right up to that score mark. And if you want to know a little bit about the score marks and engraved marks are 2 different things. Score marks, they both are cut into the wood. Score marks are very, very thin. They're not deep into the wood, whereas engraved marks are. Engraved marks are so much easier, but they do take way longer with the laser. And sometimes you don't want that. It's just, you know, sometimes they're just there for placement purposes, so you don't need all that time wasted for just, you know, a little bit of decorative or placement purpose. This score mark here is basically showing you where his little beak is and where the black is going to go for the cardinal. I know I could use a different, but I want to keep using different paint brushes, so we're just going to finish him with this one. Besides, this is actually fun. I always say that, you know, I could just sit here and paint with a tiny little brush and be the happiest person. I just find this to be the most relaxing. He's just fine. But I'm going to give him a dry after I do the wing too. And we're just going to keep his wing and him the same color. If you'd like to do the shading, if you like to do all that. Oh, I want to do the front of that guy's hat first. Oh, there's Sydney saying something upstairs. She's got a lot to say once in a while. Get this dry, and then we'll give it another coat. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my paintbrush down first. I'm going to take my little sanding sponge. This obviously has a softer side and a rougher side. And I'm just going to go over this. And I'm not worried if I'm taking anything off, but I'm just going to get it smoothed down so that when I put my second coat on, look, here's my thing. This is why I like to use foam brushes. I think every time I use a paintbrush, you always see every single paintbrush mark. I'm not good with a paintbrush. And I think with a foam brush, it just makes it all nice and even. But, you know, well, it's okay. It's okay. You just see all them brush marks. I'm just not a good painter. But I do like the foam brushes because you get more of an even coat, I guess you could say. I'll have to do that hat piece too. We still got black, it's fine. And let's get his little wing. And I'm also going to do these berries this color. Alright, I think that's good. But now I am going to go get my black brush again. And we're going to paint our hat front black, because our snowman's going to have a black hat. And again, if you want to do it fancier, you want to make it green, purple, you do you, boo. You do you, boo. And I am going to do the front here. Now here is the line. I'm not so much worried about getting the paint down here because we've got our rim that's going to go there, so we don't have to be exact. I mean, I'm not going to try to go all the way down him, you know, and make it a mess, but I'm just, if I get a little bit down further, I'm not going to be upset. See how, I mean, that's perfectly straight, and I'm with a foam brush, and I'm happy with that. That's what the practice with the foam brush, and now this is not, you know, it's just what it is. But that's perfect. All right, put that in there. We're done with that. Let's get those pieces dried real quick. Now, with his hat, before I start painting, I'm going to paint them white, of course. So I'm going to dry this up. But before I start going together, I am going to... I like that, or do I want another coat of paint on him? No, that should... Well, let's sand it down. I might want to put another coat of paint on that. And let me dry that first. And I am going to go another coat of paint on here. So sometimes sanding in between, anytime you put paint on wood, you're going to get those fibers it's going to get rough. You're going to get those fibers there. So, you know, if you do the sanding in between, the next coat of paint you put on, it's just so much smoother and so much nicer. I mean, you can do it at the end, and if you take anything off, you know, if you want to put 2 coats or 3 coats of paint on, then sand, you're still going to get the same effect, but sometimes you might take a little of that paint off. But the more paint you have on it, you're not going to notice, so. Alright, that should be good. We are good with that. Now we're going to let that dry. We're going to dry him again. For the little cardinal over here, I'm going to use a paint pen, and I'll show you the ones that I use. In a second. We are going to use white. Just plain old white from Apple Barrel. I'm trying to find, I had a little spongy here. Here it is. I used this yesterday, as you can see, so we're just going to cut that off. I just let it dry and then cut it off, because when I cut them off when they're wet, they just get paint everywhere. So, throw that piece away, and you can use this again. This is just a sanding sponge, so I'm just going to put some white paint in, and I'm going to show you how. See, the reason I'm doing this, these little score marks, they're his cheeks, and I kind of want them to be there, so I know where to put the pink. And I'm just going to do this. It's kind of like stenciling. I say this every time. You load on, and load off. Okay? Now, since I know there's going to be areas here, I'm going to start down here where I have a lot of paint on my sponge. But when I get to where his cheeks are, I'm going to use less paint. This will prevent the paint from going inside of those score marks, so you still see the nice ring. So I'm just going to go around here. Less is more, just keep that in mind. Take your time. And just dippy, 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 dippy around. Keep dabbing. Don't get carried away with it. Just keep dabbing. Don't press hard. Get out of the trash can, please. Girl, just right here in front of me. Alright, you lay down. She usually doesn't get into the trash can, but every once in a while she does. Alright, we're just going to keep dabbing. Now, for the sake of my arm, I am just going to use the paintbrush up here in the areas where I don't have to dab. And I'm not so much getting worried about getting close up there because his little hat rim is going to cover it. So if you have a big area to do this to, be prepared. Your arm will hurt. I'm gonna try this real quick and we're gonna go over it again. And I'm gonna do the same thing again, except for I'm just gonna concentrate on this area and get this done. Now I don't have to worry about it being so covered because we're going to put pink over top of his little cheeky area. I'm just trying to make sure I get it all covered because I don't want a dirty snowman. go in with this. And we're okay. Let's dry this real quick. And they go in with the sanding sponge real quick just to get it all nice and smooth and put one last coat on. Take our sanding sponge. Always got to make sure which side is which. And then I'm going to go back in with one last coat of paint. Now, if you want him to be a little rusticy, you can just go ahead and, you know, leave him. And I may dirty him up at the end, but I do want to get a nice coat on him first. So, we got him like that. See how you can still see the areas? Do I need anything white? Yes, I do. I need the little snowflake. So let's do our little snowflake while we have this out. Let's dry that. That's good. Now I'm going to find a black, and we're going to use this green. I thought I had a good system for my markers, but apparently it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. So first I'm going to take my little black. Oh, I need a yellow too. Oh, I need a yellow. So I'm just going to, these are, if you are in the market for markers of any sort, acrylic markers, these are the awesomest, bestest, everything you could possibly imagine. They do have fine tip, which I have, and they also have bold. But they're amazing. You don't have to shake them. You don't have to dot them. You don't have to do anything. They just come right on out. So I'm just going to use my fine tip marker here. And I'm going to color in his little mask. Let's go with mask. And then I'm going to take our yellow and make his little beak. These markers are just amazing. I do have them in my Amazon shop if you are interested in looking, and my link on my link tree on my thoughtsandtreasures.com page, you can check out the link tree and it will take you directly to my Amazon storefront. I don't need that right now. We'll get it after. Sydney, could you get that for me? Sydney, can you pick that up for me? Can you get that for Mama? Can you? Here, get this. Pick it up and give it to me. Give it to Mommy. Give it to me. Over here. Thank you. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yes, you're a good girl. All right. Thank you. All right, we're going to do our little holly. Sometimes the paint markers are just fun to use. Especially these. I have fought so many times with paint markers that I just give up. And when I came across these, I'm not even sure how I found these. Maybe by just trial and error. I don't know what it was, but oh my gosh. I'm not using any others. I've heard about the Posco pens. I have not tried them. I know some people really like those also. I do believe I have them in my storefront also. So if you guys aren't aware, when you are new to me, or you just have no, if you use my Amazon store link, you don't necessarily have to purchase what's in my store. You can just use my link, and you go to my store, you look, nah, I don't really like that, but you veer off and shop something else. You can still, I get a percentage of what, and the percentage, I'm talking like pennies, of whatever you purchase. So whether it's 5 cents, 2 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, $1, depending on what you buy, and it just kind of goes back to me. Amazon pays it, you do not pay it at all. So it's always a nice way to, instead of sending gifts or stars or anything like that, it does work out nicely that way. You're going to buy it anyway. Why not have an influencer that you can give the extra little bit of pennies to? All right, I'm going to get some orange. I don't have any orange over here. No, that's way too orange. Well, it says pumpkin orange, so let's use it. I don't know, it's not pumpkin, but why not? Yeah, you know what? Before we open that, let's use the little bottle. Why open something when we already have the same exact thing over here? This is apple barrel pumpkin orange, same difference. All right, so let's just put some of that on there. We're gonna paint his little scarfy scarf. Oh, no, we're not painting his scarf. We're painting his nose. See, I almost messed up again. All right, let's just paint his nose. Try that real quick. And then I'm going to find a pretty blue. I want to use, this is a true blue. Do I want to go, let's see, do I have something open over here? Probably. That's Folk Art True Blue. That's Deco Art True Blue. We got all kinds of true blues. This is Cobalt. Do I want to go that dark? Well, this is True Blue. This is 2 blue. Let's use 2 blue. Why not? It's almost the same. Oh, that's a little brighter. It's a little darker. If I want to go, I want something that's a little bit bright. Let's go with the cobalt hue. Let's see. That's a little hard coming out of there. Oh my goodness. Whew. Alright, I am going to very lightly do this because I'm not going to pounce this. Take this off. Mainly because I don't want to. So I'm just going to lightly go over this. This is a pretty blue. Very thick, I'm not sure. Must be an older blue. I mean, it is folk art, but still. She just got lots to say upstairs, I'm telling you. Alright. I think that's good. That's all our pieces. Except for our pink, and which we're going to do now. Let that dry. I'm gonna need some of this. I'm gonna nosy his down. Let me get let's just sing Frosty. Let's see. I'm gonna try this pink. This is Cotton Candy. We're gonna try that for his cheeks. I'm not sure if I want them brighter. You know what? Maybe I do want them a little bit brighter than this. I'm looking for one other thing. I'm gonna try this. These are little blending brushes that I got. Again, just trying. I don't know if I want to go a little bit brighter. Let me think for a second, because I think that might be a little too light. Oh heck, let's just go with some pink Polish. I'm gonna put that back over here. Let's just go with the pink. Let's just do it. Ooh, that's a lot. So I'm just gonna actually take, this is a very soft brush. I'm just gonna take a little bit, dab, 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 and we're just gonna go inside here. Kind of looks a little textury. And I'm not going for an even, but I think that works. Give him two little cheeks. Now I'm gonna soak that in water. We're just gonna wrap it up and wipe it off. Let's just see if we can. Let's see if we can get it clean this way before it sits. It's not all going to come off. That's okay. All right, let me dry these real quick. And we're going to start assembling him. But there's a couple things that I'm going to do to him. First, I'm going to make his nose a little bit more not so orange. So I'm just going to take a little bit of antique wax. And I'm going to get me a tip just in case. But I'm just going to kind of, again, I'm going to dip off as much as possible because I don't want a lot on here. But I'm just going to go around the edges. See, just give it a little bit of, and you can go around more. To give it that little bit of dirtiness to it. And I had the baby wipes sitting on the side just in case. And I'm going to do the same thing around him, just to give it a little bit of, and again, if you don't want your little snowman a little bit looking a little dirty, then don't do this. But I'm going to make him a little bit rusticy. And all I'm doing, I really haven't even put more paint on here, or antique wax. I'm actually using antique wax. And I always like to do a little at a time, because if you want to go in further, you can. If you do it a little too heavy. So we just kind of went around. You can see that. Run around the edges. And I'm good with that. I think that's perfect. I don't want it too much. I don't want to make him all icky. Let me put this on because this stuff is liquid. Alright, now we're going to start putting him together. I'm going to find my glue. And I, as always, I'm using the super glue, wood glue from the Dollar Tree. Right now it seems a little cheap, but I know it's more glue. And give him a little dry. Oh, I do want to do one more thing. I'm going to do the same concept with white. Because I'm going to go around his hat and rim. So I'm going to do the same thing I just did with the brown, except for I'm going to do it with the white. So I'm going to load on and then load off as much as possible. But you can always go back. So I've just got a little bit, and I'm just going to some of this you may not see. You don't have too much on, just put a little bit more. I always find holding it helps rather than trying to have it on the table. So you're just going to get that around. It gives you a little outline. And we're going to do the same thing with his brim. I don't think it matters. We're going to say this is the side. It just kind of gives it an outline. I think that's good. Now let's get those two pieces dry. And it's not really a lot of ink, so it doesn't take that long to dry. These are just little somethings that you can do to, you know, give it a little bit of more character. And again, if you don't like it, then don't stress about it. It's fine. You don't have to do that. I'm going to put this right in the middle because I know the ends are going to stick off. I'm going to stick it, I'm going to do his tat just a little wonky. Just a little wonky. Not straight on. Just a little cockeyed. cockeyed. And let's put his little birdie on. We're gonna stick his bird right on here. We're gonna give our bird an eye too, but we didn't get that far yet. We'll put the bird eye on. See, now this is what I'm saying. So again, for the fact of the hat and the bird, you're gonna see part of it in the back. I just want it to be complete. I don't want to see wood on one and not on the other. So we're going to stick our little bird. We don't want to cover our hole up for our ornaments, so you want to make sure your bird is not covering that. And we're going to stick it down. Same thing. Make sure you put the wing on the right way, small end towards the tail. And I'm not using a lot of glue. This stuff is really good. Another time I do use a lot of glue is I'm doing like a frame. I like to make sure that that stuff gushes out so that I'm getting it all around the edges. I think that looks good. Here's our little cute. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. All right, let's put his little. I don't know if I want to put anything on this or not. I might go back with a pin. Jigger. A fine paintbrush. Like that. Before I put the what's it called? Snowflake on. And then I'm not going to go all the way to the end of the nose because I know some of that's going to stick out. I'm just going to figure out where I'm going to place it. So cute. And then before I put the berries on, I'm going to put some white fine tuning on this too. But we're going to put his berries. Ah, darn it. See, forgot to do the back of the berries. The holly. The holly's going to stick out. So hold please. Let's paint the back. And again, if you miss a piece, you can always paint from the back. Oh, wait a second. Right. Let's put that in there. Let's dry this. So again, the reason I did the back is just because it's me. It's going to stick up, so you're going to see part of it on the back. And I didn't want that. Stick it right there. Just try to see where I want it. And again, you can put it wherever you want. You don't want the bird there? You put the bird. So now, like I said, these do come with inspiration pictures. That does not mean that that's what you have to do. If you don't want the holly on there, if you want to put like a little, not real holly, but another little sprig of greenery on there, you can do that. Now, before I put the little berries and the snowflake on, I'm going to put a little bit of white detailing. Now, I use this poor little brush, and I like it to not be clean because it's harder that way. I use this just for my white. This is just set aside just for that. If I use a different color, I'm going to get a different brush. So I'm just going to put my, and we're just going to kind of go around and give this some highlighting on there, you know, nothing major. Don't, you know, make it a whole, oh my gosh, that doesn't look right, oh my gosh. Just throw some light on there. You got lots here, you got a little bit over there. You know, it's just giving it a little bit of a highlight. Nothing major. Now on his little scarf, I'm trying to think what I want to do. I don't know if I want to just put some, I think I'm just going to put a little bit of yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to go crazy with that. And then I'll show you how I'm going to do the eyes. So this is all I do. I'm just wiping it off. I know you can see it, but the harder it is, it's easier to use. And you can use a paint marker. I just find it so much easier with a paintbrush. It flows a little bit better. Ooh, it's hot down here. So let me get my other favorite tool, and like you can pick these up from the Dollar Tree. They're amazing for what I'm going to show you to do. So I end up taking the bigger, there's a bigger ball and then there's a smaller ball. We're going to do the bigger ball, and I'm going to show you the one thing that I do. So I'm just going to, there's a fly down here. I'm going to dip, and then I'm just going to dot. Dip in. If you dip in once, you can get 3 dots, and you can be big, small, medium, and small. So I'm just going to go straight down, dot, dot, dot. Simple, simple, simple. You just want to make sure. Now after the that time, there's a little fly down here that's eating my leg. Why? It don't taste good. And we're going to do the same thing down here. Again, make sure you go straight down. Dot, dot, dot. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have lots of little bite marks here. See, it just gives it a little bit of something, something. Now, for his little cardinal eye, we're going to give him a white one. I think this ball, this small one, would probably be perfect. So I'm just going to do dot, and we're going to put it right there. Oh, I think that's perfect. Okay, easy, easy peasy, easy peasy. So if you are at the Dollar Tree, I know it's probably $3 or $4 by now, but, or if you have one at your house, use these. These are perfect. Now for his eyes, I want something a little bit bigger. I don't know if I want them that big, but I'm going to try. So if you want to test it, just here's my black. I might put more black out. And that might work. I think that might be a good eye. You always want to just test first and see. But I always say put in once and then test down. So I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put his eyes. We'll put an eye here. And I'm going to put an eye here. And there we got his little eyes. Isn't it so cute? I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. All right, let's just put the last of the, and then all I do is clean this off. I didn't use the brush part, I'm just using. So if you make sure, you know, if you have lots of different varieties of paintbrushes, they all make great dots, polka dots, all the other good things. So I'm just putting that back in there. I'm going to dry him real quick before I put my hand in any of these dots. And if you want a tinier eye on him, just look for your tiniest little brushes. I mean, there's just, think of things that are around your house that are tiny. You can just make a dot with. Then we're going to put our little last 2 pieces on, and the only reason I waited for that is because I'm going to put this on the scarf. So let's get our lid back off of here. And our little berries are going to go on top of our holly. Now I think I will just do a little tiny bit of, I'm telling you, the thicker and dirtier this gets, it's the best it's going to be. So I think I'm just going to do a little tiny little bit of shading on the berries. Just not something, just a little tiny bit. Loving it, loving it, loving it. It's turning out so cute. Now remember, you know, here's an idea. With ornaments, you don't necessarily have to put them on your tree. You can make garlands with these. I mean, even if you did him in the middle and then snowflakes all around on the other side, it would be cute. Or if you did him, a snowflake, him, a snowflake. I mean, there's just so many different options, and the snowflake doesn't have to be wood. You can make a snowflake out of paper if you wanted to. Construct cardstock construction paper. What am I in 10th grade or elementary school here? Construction paper. Remember that? But they're just good little. You know, you can do that. You can put them on stockings. You can put them. Gosh, there's so many different things on packages. You can gift them to people. And they're so fun to make. You can have girls' night and have, you know, everybody get a kit. So if you're interested in this one, you know, definitely comment the word snowman and I can get that for you and all the information about it. If you are new and you never purchased from me, again, my website is not set up as a purchasing site. However, most of the things on there are for sale. But I do most of my sales during my live sale, and that schedule is posted on my website. It's also posted on my Thoughts of Treasures page. I usually do it every other Sunday. However, with coming up in August and September, well, I think August I'm still every other Sunday. But September, there's only one that week one that month because I'm going away that month. And then when we come back, it's going to be October. Yeah. I'll make up for it though, I promise. So, with that being said, you know, these are definitely for sale. If you want them ahead of time before the live sale, you can definitely message me. Alright, last thing I'm going to do is I am going to get some twine. We're going to add a little hanger. And I think, I'm not sure, but I might add a bow to this. A pre-made one. I'm making nothing this little. But it may not. But I'm going to start with my twine. This is how I put mine on. So instead of just putting it through and hanging it this way so that, you know, it doesn't lay nicely, I like to do it this way. I fold my twine, which is extremely long. I know, it's okay. And then I put it through the hole so that I have a loop on one side. I'm trying to show you. A loop on one side and then my two single ends, open ends on the other. And then I simply take my two ends and pull it through. Okay, so now this twine is hanging straight so that it lets this straight instead of whereas you would do it before, it would hang like that. Okay, I am going to move this out of the way. I'm going to pull this over here and I'm going to get some pretty beads. I think I'm going to, ooh, I knocked that over. Apparently I'm going to knock that over. I think, hey, that's melted together. How did that happen? I think I'm just going to use two. I don't like that one. Maybe I'll use a white and a red. No, I think I'm going to use two whites. No, this is a me thing. I like to put beads on things. I do. I do, and I do. So, since there's so much black going on up top, and, you know, we got the snowman down at the bottom, we're just going to add two little beads to this. Put them through. Now, if you do not want to add anything, and I'm just going to see what it's going to look like first, but sometimes I leave this longer so that if somebody wants to alter it, they can. Or if you want to hang it from something else, you can do that also. I'm going to do it right about there, I think. Alright, now, see how this is going to fit right off? I usually double knot this, so that prevents that from happening. And we'll try it again. And sometimes you got wide beads, you might have to do it 3 times. Oh, that should work. Some people like to hang from the ornaments on their tree from the twine itself. Some people like to put the hooks on them. You know, this way you have the option. I mean, isn't that cute? Now, I don't know if I'm going to put, I think if I put the bow on there, it may cover, but I'm just going to look what it looks like before I decide. Yeah, see, I don't like how it's going to cover up our cardinal. I don't like that, so I'm not going to put a bow on this time. We're okay with that. I think I'm just going to leave it straight like this. Now, I mean, if you wanted to move your beads up and put a bow here, I don't like doing that. I kind of like usually do it to hide the hole, but I think we're going to leave them just as is. And I love how it turned out. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. So remember, if you are new to me or if you're not following or subscribed, please do so you don't miss out on any of the cool kits that we do. Like I said, right now we're still in July. This is a July, I know we're almost at the end of July now. So this might end soon, and then fall will start, and then we'll be back to Christmas again. So this is the first time I've ever spent the entire month doing Christmas in July, and I actually think it's kind of fun, so I'm excited. But anyway, this is what I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed, and if it's something you're looking for, you can definitely message me, or you can type in the comments Snowman, and I can get more information for you. Or you can check out the live sale, which will be August 3rd, and he will probably be in there. But anyway, I want you to know that thoughts become things and things become treasures. Thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next video.